Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing the review of Twisters 4K, but this video is going to be a little bit different because I wanted to give you, a follow-up on this edition of Twister. This is the UK version. It's only going to be a couple seconds I'm going to give you on that, but the reason why I want to give you this video is going to be a little bit different is because I based my footage you're going to see in this video is based off of the Blu-ray copies. And that's another reason why I used this one instead of the US version. The US release did not come with a Blu-ray copy, so I couldn't get any footage. So all the footage from this movie and this movie is more for eye candy. So it's more or less just listen to what I'm saying, so my experience with the movies, as opposed to seeing on screen. So this one, as you can see, comes with 2 discs, and that's the disc I used. So this copy right here, I watched once, and what I can say is only buy this if you're a fan of the movie, and especially like me, if you're a fan of Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, because this is more for collectible and diehard fans as opposed to just having the movie. The US version is more than enough if you're stateside. I didn't really see too much of a difference, I guess because the 4K, I think it's a 50 gigabyte disc. I don't remember the US version. This is a 100 gigabyte disc. Get it if you can, but if you aren't that diehard of a fan of all this, just get the regular release. But I'm going to put this to the side so you can see one more thing, because I'm going to open this up to show you what you get inside. So when you open this, you do get paper, and it gives you the code. So you got your 4K and your Blu-ray. And before I close this, I do want to say this disc right here is the most transparent disc I've ever seen. You're not going to see it in this video, but if you put this disc up to the light, you see straight through it. It's hysterical. Here's the back of it. And I do want to say the 3 actors, it's my first time seeing a movie with these 2, and I mainly bought this movie, if you guys remember, Glen Powell, big Glen Powell fan. Loved his acting. His character was awesome. Daisy, it's the first time me seeing a movie with her, as many people, and I even said the same thing. She does look a lot like Anne Hathaway's younger sister, so it was really hard to watch this movie and not think of her, but there was a few scenes I didn't really enjoy with her. I didn't think that the acting was as... That's one thing you're going to notice. I'm going to talk about a little bit of the acting. But before that, I did pick this up, and it's stacked with amazing music. The first track, I love it. But with that, let's get into the actual review of this movie. So sit back and enjoy.
Tyler's truck. That truck, for me, it's like the Batmobile of tornado chasing. It's tactical, it's scientific, it's lived in, and then it's just plain badass.
All the stuff's real steel and functional.
What's all this for?
Wait, what are you touching back there? Stop.
Oh, a lot of stuff in here.
Have you ever been in a car before?
There's these 2 drills on the side of it to anchor the entire truck into the dirt so it can withstand the force of a tornado.
We've got rocket launchers that our wonderful props departments created. They're hydraulic rocket launchers, and these are hydraulics that go into a tank in the back.
Let's go!
One of my favorite bits in the movie is where we get some fireworks and launch those rockets.
What do these do?
That's a...
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
It's a rocket.
Take a mark.
Twisters opens up with a prologue showing us a young new team chasing storms. We see the return of Dorothy one last time in action, and I loved it. Even the sounds of the sensors were original. It's unclear how Kate's team attained the Dorothy 5 device in Twisters, which did confuse me seeing how they were using a polyacrylate mixture with silver iodide to stop the storms from causing more damage. Which leads me to the team Kate's working with after the prologue. The team has tech that can read and give you 3D scans of the tornado. So I assumed it'll sort of be like the same as the 96 film, Learning the Storm. Being that they were using Dorothy and it was successfully sending back data to them, why were they scanning the tornado instead of focusing on the mixture to throw into the tornado to kill it? Which led me to believe they still don't understand how they form. So mixing both ideas, learning the storm, and then building a mixture they can use in order to slow or kill the storm sounds awesome. Many of the vehicles and props in the movie were inspired by real scientific instruments. Seeing Tyler and his team, which are a wild bunch, I wasn't expecting them to be that wild, and I enjoyed it. The music was very enjoyable and went well with the scenes with Tyler's team, and even felt like in some parts of the movie, like the 96 film. Later on, you find out the team Kate is helping is sponsored by a real estate guy who buys out the land from those affected by the storm. By this point, after seeing the overlaps of the two films, I started to see where both are different despite having a little 90s flair to it. What I noticed about the 4K and the 96 film's 4K is both look very similar in the darkness levels. I know Twisters was shot on film, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe their editing didn't mix well, or it's just me. I noticed with my setup, Twister 96, the visual effects, in my opinion, look better with these kinds of composite edits compared to Twisters. The destruction was more enjoyable in Twister, so I felt less excited with Twisters.
God.
Sound effects. Twister vs. Twisters on my 7.1 was interesting.
There it is. Listen.
At the same volume levels, Twister sounded so much more intense. If I wanted to have that same enjoyment, I had to turn the system up a little bit more, which is odd, being all the movies at that level I have it set at is more than enough for vocals and sound effects. Sound effects on the 96 film is known for being awesome. The sound effects on Twisters is great, and I did enjoy how they added sounds that people remember hearing during a storm to give a more realistic effect. Though Twister was clearly the better one in my opinion, I watched all the behind the scenes of Twisters, seeing how they made the audio, and it was amazing.
I really felt with this film it's important to introduce that sense of dimensionality. I want people to feel immersed within a tornado. And ultimately that's through sound.
It's a film about this force of nature, and you really want to nail down what's a tornado sound like.
We are creating the voice of the villain and also the majesty of the villain.
The biggest challenge was to just make it feel as real as possible, and we did a lot of research, talking to people, sharing their experiences.
I remember one interview with a woman who said that there was a deafening howl.
Both movies have great shots. I watched this movie 5 times, and I found it to be a fun watch. I just found that the 96 film was made better. It could be that it's a 20th century thing. There is something about how movies were made back then compared to now. I enjoyed the small bits of humor from the original Twister film, from Bill and Joe arguing in the truck. It's honestly a classic scene in the beginning.
No, that is bullshit. Look, I may have walked out, but at least I showed up in the first place. You never had the slightest
there's a
idea.
whole
You
road
never had the
thing
slightest
going
idea
on
about
out there.
commitment. What being married means. Like stability and supportiveness. And a house and all kinds of neat stuff like that.
Can I drive?
No!
Then would you?
Whoa!
In the 96 film, you're aware of the F level of the storm throughout the movie, which made you feel like you're on this journey with the team, despite they rate the Fujita scale after a storm, not during. An F5 is predicted in the 96 film in the beginning of Twister. Melissa asked, what about an F5? And Bill says, only one of us have seen one. Joe gets emotional because she lived through an F5, where in Twisters, their F5 didn't seem as big of a deal despite looking intense. I think I just didn't enjoy how it was shown to us versus the first film, though in Twister, the first storm wasn't shown like it was in Twisters. The script is very simple in both films. I think Helen Hunt's character Joe had more emotion about losing her dad and then hearing an F5 is heading to Wakita because of Aunt Meg, compared to Daisy Edgar-Jones' Kate. They paid a lot of homage in recreating scenes from Twister in Twisters. Bill and Joe's team is driving through a cornfield before they hit the highway, which leads them into Jones's team on the same road. Both movies have a theater and a motel. With Twisters, it's a rodeo and a motel. Later on, you see the theater. I really enjoyed the opening to the rodeo scene with the national anthem. But with that, leave your comments down below. Let's have a discussion, and I'll see you in the next one.
We gotta go too.
No, we got our access road here on the left, coming up.
Oh man, there's a lot of people there, man. I think we should follow them.
Whose side are you on, man? You want to go hang out with your little girlfriend? Go. But we got the team waiting for us, and we got the storm of a century out there.
What are you talking
Slow
about?
down.
The
Stop the
people.
truck. I don't care about the people. Stop the truck, Javi. We're planning here.
We need to go.
Javi, stop the damn truck. Good choice.
Tell Riggs we're done!
Damn it, Javi!
Thank God it just grazed us.